Emotional day in court yesterday. How does it feel today?
Like I have my freedom back.
When I was watching this to pre-screen it, I actually felt sorry for the guy. We'll go over it. He's got a perpetual frown on his face. His jaw is very stressed, and he is stiff. And what I mean by his jaw being stressed, it's not moving in a natural, flowing movement. When you speak, people will just kind of hang their mouth open a little bit. It doesn't actually close all the way, or they'll leave a space, but it moves up and down with their breathing. So when you see a jaw that doesn't move after a spoken word and it's just staying tight, there's that stress that's coming through.
Though I have to be honest, it's been very rough, to
See a lot of negative head shake and even more of a frown. And we see a little bit of furrow between the brows, right about the nose ridge and the eyebrows. That's resentment. A lot of resentment. It is a very dangerous mindset to have when you're dealing with, forces that just aren't for anyone's good but their own.
be before
And you saw the squint in the eyes when he did it.
the court, with my family in attendance, my mother, my father, my wife, my children.
I'm glad we went to that shot for a little bit. You saw him walking. You see a little bit of stress there, but it's just stress. You don't see the resentment in that walk. We're talking about the face. You see how the jaw is much more relaxed.
It was a very rough day.
And very rough day. That little short breath, like a come in, real stiff. It's almost like he went through war. That's what he gives me the sense of. All that stress in the jaws, resentment, stiffness in the body, and little short breaths. It's like his mental state is still in the war. His body has just gone through the war. He's still ready to jump up and start fighting again. And I don't mean in the sense of attack. I mean just the sense of you're being attacked. And you and your mindset are taking the best road that you have.
The president's fixer, the man who once said he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump.
And I'll do anything to protect Mr. Trump.
But now Michael Cohen says,
And then you see that one, that was really, really good. I'll do anything to protect Donald Trump. And that his jaw just kind of stayed open. He didn't clamp his lips shut.
he's going to prison in part because of the work he did for Trump.
Was yesterday the hardest day of your life, or is that going too far?
It's an understatement.
And that was really sharp. It's understatement. And you see a little shake there too. I'm gonna go back and look.
Was yesterday the hardest day of your life, or is that going too far?
It's an understatement.
You see a little shake and then a positive head movement with that. Yeah, this is where it's like, oh man, you see the pain, you see the grievance, you see just the resentment coming through. And you know mentally that you weren't in that room with whatever was being told to him of consequences if you don't do what we want. We don't know. I would surmise, though, for him to turn on Trump, that the other part of that was, and he's not going to be able to rescue you. It could be something else. It could be, see all this? This is what he said behind your back. We have all the recordings. We don't know what was said. We do know what it looks like in the aftermath and can somewhat have an opinion on what was done to him. And I partially blame Trump for this because when it first started, the attack, instead of Trump sitting there realizing that this man is going through something and you have no idea what's going on, and people are talking to you that you should know at this point are just the devils dressed up as angels, that when that whole fight started, he said this, and the other person sees that he said that, which there's no truth in that at all, but now there's somebody's going to spark it off, and it just perpetuates the motion to disloyalty. It's just a sad case.
Yet you feel you've turned a corner.
I know I have.
Just this week, Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to financial crimes, lying to Congress, and 2 campaign finance violations in connection with hush money payments made to porn star Stormy Daniels and playmate Karen McDougal.
The president's tweeting from very early in the morning, several different things. What struck me most is his claim that you agreed to this plea deal for this reason. He said, those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence.
He knows the truth. I know the truth. Many people.
He's got a lot of bulimia looking there. He knows the truth. I'll go back and look.
In order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence.
He knows the truth. I know the truth. Many people know the truth. Under no circumstances.
Yeah, believe me. He knows the truth. Believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. So now we're seeing deception. Well, you made your bed, Cohen. Now you gotta lie in it.
Circumstances do I want to embarrass the President of the United States of America? The truth is, I told the truth. I took responsibility for my actions. And instead of him taking responsibility for his actions, what does he do? He attacks my family.
And a little bit of snarl. There's the resentment still coming through. We don't know exactly what transpired with that, as we've already gone over, but the resentment is still there, and it is deep. This is what it looks like when you deal with two-faced shit-stirrers. You believe what the two-faced shit-stirrer said, become resentful of the person you were loyal to and who is loyal to you. The person that you were loyal to is now seeing your attitude change and going, well, I know the real people behind that mask. And you get cut off.
He says, his claim, you're lying about him to protect your wife, to protect your father-in-law.
Inaccurate. He knows the truth. I know the truth. Others know the truth. And here is the truth.
He does that. Others know the truth, and that believe me look comes up. I'd imagine that those others are that Mueller investigation. That's what he means, those others. Got hand in fist, fist in hand. There's that resentment, another clue to that resentment. So angry that you've got your hand in a fist, but controlling yourself in this interview that you're holding it down with your hand. We used to call people out for being two-faced and shit stirrers. We need to do that again.
The man doesn't tell the truth. And it's sad that I should take responsibility for his dirty deeds.
There's more resentment, the frown in the face, the believe me look, the lines in the forehead with the stress. And there's truth in what he said there, that I should be punished for his dirty deeds. And there's truth in that. In his mind, that is coming off as truth. That may not be exactly what he is being punished for in the public's eye. And I say that because in his mind, this is truth. They're attacking me for what you did. There's truth there. He is not in his mindset of the laws broken or the things he's actually going to be punished for. His mindset of they're attacking me because of you. I'm resentful. I'm angry. You didn't protect me.
Cohen is cooperating with Special Counsel Robert Mueller in his Russia investigation. And separately, federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York have implicated but not charged the president in those deals. They allege Cohen acted in coordination with and at the direction of Trump, according to court filings. Trump tweeted that he never directed Michael Cohen to break the law.
If it were true that the president was just an unwitting client who'd been advised badly by a lawyer, could be a defense. Problem is that according to Michael Cohen, Donald Trump made the deal himself with American media. At this point, the president is effectively an unindicted co-conspirator.
And in a bombshell revelation, prosecutors also reached an agreement with AMI, the publishers of the National Enquirer. Its CEO is Trump associate David Pecker. The tabloid admitted to making a $150,000 payment to McDougal in concert with the Trump campaign.
You lied for him for a long time.
More than 10 years.
Why?
Out of loyalty. Out of loyalty to him.
That was interesting. You lied for him for a long time. And he said more than 10 years. I'll go back and look at that.
You lied for him for a long time.
More than 10 years.
Why?
Out of loyalty. Out of loyalty to him.
And what we see when he does it, it's that big head movement in the positive, up and down, but it's the whole body. So we're seeing stiffness. So that's deception. He didn't lie. And then we see a moment of reflection with the why, that you're seeing right now. That emotional reflection. Why? This is mentally going deeper than that. What we're seeing is deception of technically not lying. It's I worked for you for 10 years. 10 years. Gossiping, two-faced shit stirs. We're seeing it play out in front of our face.
I followed a bad path, and hence how we started this conversation.
I followed a bad path. And all of this, he's giving you his truth. I followed a bad path. Choice of words there. Very important. Not I did a wrong thing, but I followed a bad path. Not that I followed a bad person or covered for a lunatic. I followed a bad path. Yeah, that patriotic path is covered in bodies and blood because the wolves are always attacking.
I have my freedom. I will not be the villain of his story.
He's saying very clearly that he never directed you to do anything wrong. Is that true?
I don't think there's anybody that believes that. First of all, nothing at the Trump Organization was ever done unless it was run through Mr. Trump. He directed me.
Now we're going back to the believe me look. We still have hand and fist resentment. So this is not reliable information.
To make the payments, he directed me to become involved in these matters, including the one with McDougal.
That's truth. Face relaxed. He directed me to become involved in these matters.
Which was really between him and David Pecker, and then David Pecker's counsel. I just reviewed the documents in order to protect him. I gave loyalty to someone who truthfully does not deserve loyalty.
He was trying to hide what you were doing, correct?
Correct.
And he knew it was wrong?
Of course.
And he was doing that to help his election?
You have to remember at what point in time that this matter came about, 2 weeks or so before the election, post the Billy Bush comments. So yes, he was very concerned about how this would affect the election.
To help his campaign?
To help him and the campaign.
You mentioned dirty deeds in your allocution. When you think about it, when you look back, did you know what you were doing?
I'm angry at myself because I knew what I was doing was wrong. I should not be the only one taking responsibility for.
Now we're seeing a whole lot more portrayal. And this is really just hard to watch because that's all it's full of. Resentment, anger, portrayal, a little bit of deception, and I'm going to thumb you back in the eye because of the gossip and two-faced shit stirs. If you liked it, leave a like.
If you like the content, please subscribe using this link via specific feeds. You'll be sent notifications to the full-length videos and ones that can't make it to YouTube, and you won't mysteriously be unsubscribed either. There is now a video course available on her website for gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime Series, an Interesting Mind series, and monthly podcasts available to both gold and silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.